Hey guys, and welcome back to this video. In this video, I'll be going through my AFL Fantasy Round 8 team review, going through the trades that I ended up doing after we had some Clayton Oliver related chaos on team selection night, and then also just sort of my thoughts and plans as we get to the future couple of game weeks. But anyway, before we jump into this video, remember to like and subscribe, turn the notification bell on so you know when I upload, and let's get into this video. So 2142, not the greatest week, as a round rank of 20,611 suggests, and an overall ranking of 15,092 suggests, dropping a further 58 ranks. But in the end of things, like I've been saying, I'm kind of just trying stuff at the moment. I know that fantasy's probably absolutely cooked my team, but as I missed pretty much every mid-pricer under the sun this year, so yeah, I've missed everything, and I'm just trying to try different things and see if they work out. The rationale's kind of there and stuff like that, but yeah, we'll just see how it goes. So Zorko had some chippity chip at the end and got himself up to 100. Probably one of his better games for me. I got him on, I think, after the Geelong game, I want to say, and actually I can check this when I got him in. I had him for round 3. Did I have him for round 2? I didn't, so I got him in round 3. So since round 3, he's played 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 games for us. And in that time, he has averaged 93.5 in the last 5. And then we'll put 5 times 93.8, sorry, which is 469 plus 100. Divide that by 6. He has averaged 94.8 for us in the side, which is absolutely pathetic. I got him at the wrong time, but it is what it is. Hopefully, in the long run, he can return some big scores. He had a couple of big scores before that, and so I'm just hoping he returns back to form, which he's looked like it in the last couple of weeks. Sinclair had a stinker of a game, and yeah, he's not really performed well. I got him round 4, and since then he has not really performed for the side. I think he's put up in the 5 games an average of 87, which is just not good enough. Of course, the statistics basically said he was going to be in a D1. The statistics just basically pointed to him completely. We showed them when they were up there in like round 4, round 5, that he was going to get that halfback role, and yeah, it looked perfect for him, and it's just not worked out in the long run. Matty Roberts, 86. He's just continuing on. Probably a guy I trust to hold more than some of the other guys, just because he does have a really high floor score, like the 80s that he's getting, and I could easily see him dropping another sort of 100 score, 110 score, and then suddenly that being him in the 900k range, and he will be probably one of the guys that I hold through to the Sydney bye and then upgrade him after the bye, also during the bye, because he'll be easy alongside potentially other round 14 guys. Like, take for instance, not Rivers, but take for instance Levi Ashcroft's a little bit later. Lindsay might go this week for me. And you've got Caden Cleary as well, who might go in that bye week, as well as is DeConing on that bye week. Nope, DeConing's on round 12. Is there anyone else that I'm looking at here and just thinking, are they on the bye week of round 14? Someone like a Trainer, someone like Roberts, Bison, Trainer, or Roberts. Bice will probably go by them, but Roberts, Trainer, and Cleary. And you could probably push towards two primos in, and also a rookie downgrade. So that's sort of what I'm looking at there with that. And then obviously was not going to take Carroll's 32 and put Trainer on field for his 87. That was really, really good. His cash gen has started again, and yeah, I have thought about trading Trainer out over like a Lindsay potentially, but I think it is going to be potentially Lindsay's time. 47 break even, and he's really only gone and averaged, what's that? He's had one bad game of the 12, so 417 points in 6 games. It is just below the 60 marker, I think, or just, sorry, 417 in 6 games. 417 divided by 6 is around about the 69.5 marker. So if we were to put that into a calculator, fantasy calculator, and this is why you need to also look at these type of things now, is yes, Lindsay is going to make more money, I suspect, but it could be a slow burn from this point. And there are plenty of other rookies that are going to make cash even quicker. So he might still have another 150k to make. That could be realistic. However, that 150k might come over 8 weeks, whereas you might have another rookie, say a Boxall or a Lorenz or not a Buzzling anymore, but let's just go quickly to break evens here. You've got all positions, say a Lorenz, a 9 break even. And if we look here, 41, 41, 41, he gets up 58, 64, 84k in that quick time for just 40s. If we look at Hardiman, who's another guy you could potentially even look at, 31, 24, 16 from just 40s, and I suspect he's going to go 70s. Joe Fonte as well, another guy that could potentially get game time, and he goes 31, 34, 31, 26 with just 50s. So that's 65, that is 71, that is 91k in 3 weeks, whereas Lindsay, he's projected with 55, 60s to only gain another 19k in 3 weeks. That's not much cash gen. So, yeah, he needs a correction now, a week of correction where he goes 90, 95 just to correct it back. Like, he will gain 30k if he went 90, but it will take a big force to swing him back into cash generating, and that's his goal. It's not actually scores. So, yeah, I think he's one that can potentially push out. Nick Dacos just had someone sort of running with him, I believe. And, yeah, 92, not the greatest score, but not the best score either. And he comes up against Freo, who don't have Hayden Young as well, which is huge. Don't have Jagger and Mira, I believe, which is absolutely huge. So they don't really have a guy that can, I believe, really run a shutdown role. So yeah, that'll be interesting to see what happens there. But I have a feeling he's going to have a really good positive matchup the next couple of weeks here. The next 3 weeks, he could go 120 here and bang it out. Harry Sheasel, 134. I doubled up and took his score. I know I would have gained 24 points from going the Gawn captaincy, but when you have 130 score on the just the table there, you have to take it, I believe. Even if you have the easiest matchup or the best matchup in the whole game sitting there, the Sheasel needed to be taken. There was just too much of a risk of Gawn potentially doing something, getting sat with 10 minutes to go or something like that, and his score just being a 110 or something like that, and you're burning 20 points for no real reason. So, and there was also the downside value of potentially Gawn tweaking something. He's gone and injured himself early in games for a 4. So what about if he did that again? And yeah, so that's why I took his score, and that's the real reason behind it. Yeah. Connor Rosie, 87, huge underperformance, I would say, almost in a way. He really didn't actually do anything to help Port Adelaide win, and that's why they got pumped. He was horrific, his ball use, and only 3 marks as well. So an 87 there. He's the one that I'm just looking at. I think it's yeah, it's kind of broken even over the last 3 weeks, I'd say, for owners and non-owners since, or last 4 weeks since he got moved to halfback. As he has gone, what's that? 195, 296, 302, 422 in the last 4 weeks, which is an average of 105 and a half. So 105 and a half. He's basically gone at his season average at halfback. Jai Newcomb back to his better self with a 103, 27 touches, 4 marks, 5 tackles, and 4 free kicks. 4. Yeah, he was just back to his best, simply put, and 1 behind there. And then you have Caleb Sarong, 65. He just had a stinker. He just couldn't get near it. He had about 4 tackles in the last quarter to save his score. I want to say he had about half of his score in the last quarter alone. I think he had something like 3 or 4 touches and maybe 5 tackles in the last quarter. So yeah, that was a disappointing score from the likes of Sarong, and really that's when I knew the weekend was stuffed, when he put up that score. Yeah, he had a 19-point last quarter, 3 handballs and 4 tackles. So, and his second half was a 21. So he had in the end 40 points in the second half. We just needed something bigger and better. And he's going to be the obvious one to pick next year, I have a feeling, because he is pretty much baked in to be sub 100, because he's had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 sub 100 scores already. So I wouldn't be surprised if he is like 40% owned next year, because he'll be obvious. Trent Rivers, this is one that I kind of just went for because of this this form over here. 122, 110 in the last couple of weeks. I know it was at halfback, and I thought in the midfield he should do better. It just didn't come, and hopefully against the Hawks he can bounce back, but this is looking like a kind of dead selection a little bit. But hopefully he can do something here, as he did make 39k, which is good cash generation, I guess, to a certain extent, but really need the couple of 100 scores, I would say, for Trent Rivers in the end, just to make it look like a decent selection there. Levi, absolutely huge performance from him. And this is Levi's score. It is a little bit of a concern thinking about trading out Lindsay, that the potential of him going like 90 plus and just resurrecting his cash generation. But in the end of things, it's probably better for just to move on the cash generation, because usually you're going, say, a Lindsay and for me, a Davidson at this point, it would probably be up to a primo and a rookie that's still generating cash. So you are like generating the cash generation, but you also are getting the guy on field that you want to be able to, I guess just get the scoring there, but also get the cash generation out of two guys that have finished their cash generation, and Lindsay to a certain extent, and Davidson. Gawn, huge. DeConing should have made the trade to and you'll see them. Even though I would have kept Sanders this week, it was actually more beneficial to, I think, get the cherry pick and grab him up, because he absolutely smashed it and went up in the end 34k, whereas TDK went down 33k. So that's a 67k split, plus also about 56 points that I would have gained through that avenue there. I would have lost back the 37 points that Sanders would have had over less than the likes of a Trent Rivers, but cash generation would have been better, I have a feeling. And so probably not the greatest call in my opinion, but I can understand the thought process of getting I guess the thought process of relying on the primos, because we've seen the primos bounce back and score well. So relying on TDK to have a good game. And then, so Cherry is in my thought process this week as well. I just don't know if I really want to play to grab him from DeConing, but because DeConing does have some good matchups, I have a feeling. But is DeConing really a 100 ruckman, or more like a 95, 90 odd ruckman, which he sort of has shown potential? He's shown both ways in a way. McRae was absolutely mammoth. Jason Horne-Francis 83. Bailey Smith is an obvious one. Caleb Daniel 77, not the greatest. There was definitely discussions at 3/4 time that I had with people in circles, just being like, is he actually going to be a keeper? Christian Petrarca beat out Rankin by a point, so happy I went that trade. And then Caden Cleary, disappointing first half, but came out and looked really good in the second half and gave Sydney something in the midfield. I don't know what exactly he gave in terms of CBAs for Sydney, or got CBAs for Sydney, but he definitely felt like he was going into the midfield a little bit more and helping out. 0% CBAs, so we actually didn't have a CBA, but he definitely came in around the ground. Like, they swapped some things around and got him in, and that's how it worked for him. So he definitely came into the stoppages, but it wasn't exactly a direct CBA that he was getting. So he was coming from the small forward and probably swapping out with someone. And so that was the way it was working. But he gave something for Sydney in that last quarter when they needed it, because they needed to get over the line, and they just did. And then Davidson at 57. I wasn't going to take a 57. I thought there was enough to gamble with, even though this doesn't have the dropout score fantasy. So I thought there was enough to gamble with going Caden Cleary and him having a bounce back game as he did. And then, Foz 49. He's got a 42 break even. He's just not moving cash wise. He only gained 6k? 7k. So he'll probably get up to like 420, 430k very slowly, but he just doesn't have enough cash on his head at the moment to really do anything with him. So that's the reason why he's sort of just sitting there hoping he can get a big game eventually to turn it around. But that is the video there. Thought I'd make a quick one before the live stream in a little bit, as well as getting to my Supercoach team review for round 8 as well. But hope you guys enjoyed it, and I'll see you guys for the Supercoach review later. Bye, guys.